Captain Alina Seto stood rigid on the bridge of the ESS Pathfinder, Earth's first interstellar colony vessel, as the final jump calculations completed. After 3 years of travel, they were about to arrive at humanity's new frontier. Alpha Centauri. Final sequence initiated, announced Navigator Williams, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. Emergence in 10 seconds. 5,000 colonists slept in cryostasis below decks, dreaming of the world they would build. Scientists, engineers, farmers, teachers, humanity's best and brightest, selected to establish our species' first foothold among the stars. 5 seconds, Williams continued. 4, 3, 2, 1. Space rippled and tore as the Pathfinder emerged into real space at the edge of the Alpha Centauri system. Cheers erupted across the bridge, until alarms shattered the moment of triumph. "Contact," shouted Lieutenant Park at Tactical. "Unknown vessel, bearing 090, distance 50,000 kilometers and closing fast." On the main screen, a sleek, predatory craft approached. Its metallic hull gleamed with iridescent symbols that pulsed with energy. Nothing in humanity's records resembled this clearly artificial design. "Open communications on all frequencies," ordered Sato, her heart racing despite the outward calm she maintained for her crew. First contact protocols. Moments later, the view screen flickered, revealing an alien bridge. The commander, resembling a tall avian being with metallic feathers and 4 glittering eyes, recoiled visibly at the sight of humans. "Impossible," the alien hissed through the hastily adapted translator. "Your containment should hold for another century, at minimum." Captain Sato raised her hands in the universal gesture of peace. "I am Captain Alina Sato of the Earth ship Pathfinder. We come in peace, seeking only to establish a colony in this system." "I am Commander Xendar of the Torvani hierarchy," the alien replied, feathers bristling. "And you are in violation of the Universal Edict. Earth is a quarantine system. Return immediately or face destruction." Sato maintained her composure despite the threat. "We're unaware of any such edict. Perhaps we could discuss this matter." "There is nothing to discuss," Xendar interrupted. "The children of Earth must remain contained. You have 1 hour to reverse course." The transmission cut abruptly, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. "Battle stations," Sato ordered quietly. "And wake Chief Engineer Reyes." In engineering, Maya Reyes studied the alien vessel's scan results with growing alarm. "Their weapons technology is at least a century beyond ours," she reported. "If they attack, our conventional defenses won't hold." "Then we need unconventional defenses," Sato replied. "What do we have that could be repurposed?" Raya's eyes fell on the terraforming equipment, massive machines designed to reshape the target planet's environment. "The nitrogen compression chambers," she said slowly. "They're designed to create atmospheric pressure, but if we vent them directly." 40 minutes later, as the Torvani ship moved into attack position, the Pathfinder appeared defenseless. When Xendar opened fire, his precision weapons sliced through the colony ship's outer hull. "Nitrogen systems ready," Reyes called from engineering, her team having worked frantically to reconfigure equipment never designed for combat. "Mining lasers recalibrated," reported Lieutenant Park, who had helped repurpose planet-cutting tools into makeshift weapons. When the Torvani ship closed for the killing blow, Seto gave the order. "Now." The Pathfinder's mining lasers, designed to carve through planetary crust, fired simultaneously, slicing through the Torvani sensor array. Before Xendar could react, the nitrogen compression system, meant to create atmospheric pressure on their new home, vented directly into the enemy vessel's path. The supercooled gas flash froze sections of the alien hull, causing catastrophic systems failures. The Torvani vessel lurched away, trailing debris and venting atmosphere. The final transmission, intercepted by the Pathfinder's communications officer, contained only one phrase repeated with increasing urgency. "The children of Earth have broken containment. The edict has failed." As the alien ship limped away into faster-than-light travel, Captain Sato gazed at the distant star that would become humanity's new home. Whatever this universal edict was, whatever humanity had done to earn quarantine, one thing was clear: their interstellar destiny would not be denied. "Set course for the fourth planet," she ordered. "We have a colony to build." 3 weeks after the Torveni encounter, New Hope Colony took shape on Alpha Centauri IV's most habitable moon. Prefabricated structures dotted the landscape while terraforming equipment hummed day and night, creating Earth-like atmospheric conditions within the colony's biodomes. Captain Sato stood at the viewport of the command center, watching colonists plant the first Earth crops in alien soil. The decision to continue rather than retreat weighed on her, but the colonists' unanimous vote had been clear. They hadn't crossed 4 light years to turn back at the first sign of resistance. "Captain," Dr. Marcus Chen called from his makeshift lab. "I've made progress with the Torveni data crystals." Chen had been working obsessively since salvage teams recovered debris from the damaged alien vessel. The xenolinguist's quarters had transformed into a chaotic workspace, walls covered with alien symbols and mathematical formulations. "Show me," Sato said, following him to a holographic display where fragmented alien text rotated. "The Universal Edict appears to be a multi-species treaty," Chen explained, his eyes bloodshot from lack of sleep. "I've identified references to at least 17 distinct civilizations, all signatories. Earth is classified as..." He hesitated. "As what, Doctor?" "As an evolutionary anomaly. The Torveni records refer to us as catastrophically adaptive predators. There's mention of an incident approximately 12,000 years ago that triggered the quarantine." Sato frowned. What could Stone Age humans possibly have done to frighten spacefaring civilizations? Chen shook his head. "I don't know yet, but they refer to us repeatedly as the children of Earth, with warnings I can only describe as terrified." Light years away, Lieutenant James Kwan piloted the Pathfinder's scout ship through the void between stars. Earth needed to know about the Torveni, about the edict that had apparently contained humanity without our knowledge. The scout ship's faster engines would get him home in months rather than years, but Kwan constantly scanned for pursuers, changing course frequently. Each jump depleted their limited fuel reserves, but the alternative, being caught by Torveni patrols, was unacceptable. The colony's survival depended on Earth sending reinforcements before the aliens returned in force. Admiral Yusuf Okafor stood before the United Earth Defense Council in Geneva, his scared face grim as he presented Lieutenant Kwan's report. "The implications are clear," he concluded. "Humanity is the subject of an interstellar quarantine, and we've just broken it. We must prepare for possible retaliation." "Preposterous," General Hammond scoffed. "If these aliens have been watching us for millennia, why reveal themselves now? Where's the evidence?" "With respect, General, the evidence has been in our classified files for decades." A woman rose from the observers section. Amara Osoi, the controversial xenopsychologist whose theories on potential alien contact had been ridiculed by the scientific establishment. "Dr. Osoi," Okafor acknowledged. "Perhaps you should explain." Osai activated her tablet, projecting images of ancient artifacts and unexplained phenomena. "Humanity has experienced inexplicable technological leaps throughout our history. The sudden appearance of agriculture in multiple unconnected regions, the Bronze Age collapse, and subsequent ironworking. The Renaissance. Each represents an acceleration beyond normal evolutionary development." She changed the display to classified military footage. "And then there's Operation Sentinel. 63 unidentified craft shot down over Earth in the past century alone. Craft your own agencies recovered but never acknowledged publicly." The room erupted in protests until Okafor's voice cut through. "Dr. Osai has Level 9 clearance by my authorization. Her theory is that these weren't random visitors, but observation posts monitoring our quarantine." Osai nodded. "Someone has been watching us, and occasionally interfering, despite this edict. The question is, why? What makes humans so dangerous that advanced civilizations established a multi-species treaty to contain us? Back at New Hope, Dr. Chen burst into Captain Seto's quarters, his hands trembling as he clutched a data tablet. "I've broken the final encryption," he gasped. "I know what happened 12,000 years ago." Sato took the tablet, scanning the translated text. Her face paled. "Is this verified?" she whispered. Chen nodded gravely. "Triple-checked. Captain, we need to prepare the colonists. If the Torvani told their superiors about us, they'll come to eradicate us," Sato finished. "And based on this, I can't say I blame them." Outside the window, Alpha Centauri's light gleamed on the growing colony, humanity's foothold among the stars, and now potentially the flashpoint for an interstellar conflict 12 millennia in the making. New Hope's early warning system triggered at 300 colony time. Captain Sato was pulled from sleep by the insistent beeping of her comm unit. Multiple signatures entering the system, Security Chief Rodriguez reported. 7 vessels, configurations unknown. Within minutes, Sato stood in the command center watching the alien fleet's approach on the main display. The ships were unlike the Torvani vessel, each one different from the others in design and scale. "They're transmitting," Communications Officer Liu announced. "Text only, in multiple Earth languages." The message was simple: request peaceful contact. No hostile intent. "It could be a trap," Rodriguez cautioned. Sato nodded. "Activate our defenses, but don't target unless fired upon. And inform all colonists. Emergency shelter protocols." When the alien delegation landed 12 hours later, New Hope was prepared for either diplomacy or war. The landing zone, situated a kilometer from the main colony, bristled with hastily constructed defensive measures beneath a veneer of diplomatic welcome. The alien delegation emerged, 6 different species, each more fantastically alien than the last. Their leader floated rather than walked, a translucent jellyfish-like being suspended within a hovering mechanical shell. When it spoke, the voice seemed to emanate from everywhere at once. "I am Ril Zora of the Aetheri, representing the Galactic Coalition. Your emergence beyond the quarantine was unexpected." Despite months of first contact training, Sato felt unprepared facing these beings from multiple worlds. "I am Captain Elena Sato of Earth. We were unaware of any quarantine." "As intended," Ril Zora replied. "You were never meant to leave your cradle." "Not yet. Perhaps not ever." Over the following days, formal negotiations proceeded in New Hope's unfinished council chamber, while colonists cautiously interacted with junior coalition members. Sarah Chen, a colony schoolteacher and Dr. Chen's sister, befriended Krulvor, a reptilian coalition archivist who seemed fascinated by human culture. "Your people tell stories about reptilian beings," Krulvor observed over a shared meal. "Perhaps we have met before." Sarah laughed. "Ancient astronaut theories. Most scientists dismiss those." "Most scientists lack complete information," Krulvor replied cryptically. In the 5th diplomatic session, Captain Seto's patience finally snapped. "Enough vague warnings. What exactly is this universal edict, and why were we subjected to it without our knowledge?" Ril Zora's translucent body pulsed with blue-green light, what Dr. Chen had identified as indicating emotional stress. After a moment's hesitation, the alien diplomat answered. 12,000 years ago, a species called the Mokhtar discovered Earth. They were conquerors who saw your primitive ancestors as easy prey. They landed their ships in what you now call Mesopotamia, expecting primitives armed with stone tools to submit or perish. Ril Zora's mechanical shell rotated slowly. Instead, those primitive humans, through sheer numbers and ferocity, overwhelmed the Mokhtar and captured their vessel. What happened next defied all evolutionary understanding. Sato leaned forward. "Go on." Within a single generation, a mere 20 Earth years, those Stone Age humans had not only mastered the Mokhtar's faster-than-light technology, but had constructed their own vessels and tracked the Mokhtar across 3 star systems. They hunted their would-be conquerors to extinction with a ruthless efficiency that horrified watching civilizations. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Imagine our terror, Rilzora continued, witnessing creatures who had just discovered metallurgy suddenly navigating between stars, adapting technology as if born to it, all driven by an unquenchable desire for revenge. Your species' adaptability is unprecedented. The Universal Edict was created to protect the galaxy from humanity's potential, and to protect humanity from itself. Before Seto could respond, emergency sirens wailed throughout the colony. Multiple ships entering the system, Rodriguez reported urgently. Torvani warships, dozens of them. Rilzora's shell emitted a sound like crystalline chimes shattering. They've come to enforce the edict by force. Your discovery has divided the coalition. Some believe humanity deserves a chance, others that you must be contained at any cost. Captain Seto turned to the alien diplomat, her expression hardening. And where do you stand? I believed in observation. Rilzora replied. Now I believe in survival, yours and mine. The Torvani will destroy this colony and everyone in it, coalition representatives included, to maintain the quarantine. Outside, the sky darkened as Torvani warships entered orbit. New Hope's brief existence hung in the balance, as did humanity's future among the stars. As Torvani warships descended toward New Hope, an unexpected transmission cut through the chaos. This is Admiral Yusuf Okafor of the Earth Defense Fleet. Torvani vessels withdraw immediately or face consequences. On the colony's command screens, a dozen Earth ships emerged from faster-than-light travel at the system's edge, an impossibility given the distance between Earth and Alpha Centauri. Captain Seto's momentary relief gave way to confusion. How did they get here so quickly? On Earth, 3 weeks earlier, Amara Oseti had made a discovery that changed everything. Deep in classified archives, she found evidence of an alien observation post hidden beneath the Antarctic ice, one that had been monitoring humanity for millennia. It's still operational, she told Admiral Okafor as they descended into the frozen facility, and it contains technology we've been reverse engineering for decades. The ancient monitoring station held secrets beyond their imagination, including faster-than-light communication technology that Earth's scientists had partially adapted into prototype jump drives far more advanced than the one that carried Pathfinder to Alpha Centauri. They've been watching us, Osei realized as she translated the station's logs. Not just observing, experimenting. The logs revealed a faction within the coalition had been interfering with human development for centuries, attempting to steer Earth's evolution toward peaceful technological paths and away from our aggressive tendencies. Every attempt backfired, Okafor said, reading the translated data. They tried to introduce pacifist philosophies, but we adapted them into more sophisticated military strategies. They sabotaged weapons development, but we created medical breakthroughs instead. Each intervention made us stronger, more adaptable. They created exactly what they feared, Osei whispered. Now that same adaptability was humanity's only hope as Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet faced the Torvani Armada above New Hope. On the colony surface, Captain Seto made a desperate decision. Rilzora, you said the coalition is divided over humanity's fate. Prove your position. Help us contact your ships. The ethery diplomat's translucent body pulsed with rapid color changes. The coalition vessels are observing only. They will not intervene in Torvani enforcement actions. Then we're on our own, Seto replied, turning to her security chief. Implement Tartarus Protocol. Throughout the colony, hidden systems activated. Defensive measures the colonists had been secretly building since the first Torvani encounter. Every terraforming tool, mining laser, and atmospheric processor had been modified to serve a dual purpose. As Torvani landing craft descended, they encountered a defense network unlike anything they had anticipated. Atmospheric processors created localized pressure differentials that threw smaller craft off course. Terraforming lasers, designed to break down molecular bonds in soil, cut through Torveni armor with terrifying precision. From orbit, Admiral Okafor's ships engaged the Torveni fleet with weapons adapted from the Antarctic facility's technology. Not as powerful as their alien counterparts, but deployed with unpredictable human tactics that confounded the Torveni's conventional warfare algorithms. In the command center, Dr. Chen made another breakthrough with the colony's alien database. "Captain, I found something about the Mokhtar, the species our ancestors drove to extinction. They weren't conquerors at all. They were refugees." Sato, coordinating the colony's defense, spared him a glance. "Refugees from what?" Chen's expression was grave. "Something called the Harvesters. According to these records, the Mokhtar awakened an ancient machine intelligence at the galaxy's edge, one programmed to eliminate species deemed evolutionarily aggressive. Like humans, Sato realized. The Mokhtar were fleeing to Earth to hide," Chen continued. "When our ancestors defeated them and then pursued them across space, it wasn't just the Coalition that noticed. The Harvesters' detection systems registered unprecedented technological adaptation. That's the real reason for the quarantine, not just to protect the galaxy from us, but to hide us from the Harvesters." Before Sato could respond, the command center rocked with a direct hit from a Torveni weapon. Through the viewport, she watched Earth's ships taking heavy damage, while still inflicting surprising casualties on the technologically superior enemy. As the battle for New Hope and humanity's future raged above and around them, Chen's final translation appeared on his screen, an ancient warning about the Harvesters that chilled his blood. They never stop, they never forget, and they are coming. The battle for New Hope reached its third hour with no clear victor. Admiral Okafor's ships, despite their technological disadvantage, had managed to destroy 7 Torveni vessels through unpredictable maneuvers and improvised tactics. On the surface, colonists fought with startling effectiveness, turning construction equipment and terraforming tools into weapons of surprising lethality. Aboard the Coalition observation vessel, Rilzora watched the conflict with growing distress. The Aetheri diplomat had been evacuated from the colony at the battle's start, against her wishes. "The humans are holding," remarked Cottle, a stone-skinned Coalition elder. "Impossible." "Not impossible," Rilzora replied. "Inevitable. This is what we feared, what the Edict was meant to prevent. Humanity unleashed." A new signal interrupted their observation. A transmission broadcast on all frequencies, from all Coalition vessels simultaneously. The Coalition Supreme Council had convened an emergency session in response to the Torveni attack. On screens throughout the system, a panel of diverse alien beings appeared. Their announcement was unprecedented. "The Universal Edict is hereby suspended pending review. All hostilities against human settlements must cease immediately." The Torveni action was not authorized by Coalition consensus. The Torveni commander's furious response echoed across the battle channels. "The humans have broken quarantine. The Edict demands containment." "The Edict was created out of fear," responded the Coalition spokesperson. "Fear that may no longer be justified. All Coalition vessels are ordered to interpose between Torveni and human ships. This conflict ends now." In New Hope's damaged command center, Captain Sato received the transmission with cautious relief. "Hold defensive positions," she ordered. "This could be a trick." Dr. Chen, working frantically to translate more of the ancient records, looked up from his terminal. "Captain, I've found coordinates of a Mokhtar outpost in this system. If we could reach it, we might find more about these Harvesters." Before Sato could respond, a new communication came through. From Admiral Okafor. "Captain, the Coalition Council is fracturing over the human question. 3 factions have emerged. Isolationists who want us quarantined more strictly, integrationists who believe we should join galactic society, and fatalists who believe it's already too late to contain us." "And the Torveni?" Sato asked. "Hardcore isolationists," Okafor replied. "They see humanity as an existential threat to galactic stability. Their attack was unauthorized, but many secretly support it. This ceasefire won't hold long. On Earth, Amara Osai had continued deciphering the Antarctic Station's records. What she discovered sent her racing to the United Earth Defense Council's emergency session. The observation post wasn't just monitoring us, she reported breathlessly. It was experimenting on us. Genetic modifications, technological introductions, cultural manipulations, all designed to make humans more docile, more controllable. General Hammond scoffed. Clearly they failed. No, Osai countered. They succeeded beyond their wildest fears. Each interference triggered evolutionary responses. Human adaptability accelerated with each generation. We became more innovative, more resilient. The Antarctic Station's final report recommended termination of the human species before we could reach space. Stunned silence fell across the council chamber. There's more, Osai continued. The harvesters that Dr. Chen discovered. They're an ancient machine intelligence created to eliminate evolutionarily aggressive species. The Mokhtar awakened them accidentally, and the harvesters have been systematically hunting potentially dangerous civilizations ever since. And now we've revealed ourselves, Hammond realized. By breaking quarantine and fighting back against the Torvani. Osei nodded grimly. Every measure of our response, our adaptability, our rapid technological integration, our combat effectiveness against superior technology, matches the harvester's profile of species targeted for elimination. Back in the Alpha Centauri system, the temporary peace shattered as a breakaway faction of Torvani ships resumed their attack on New Hope. Coalition vessels moved to intercept, but many held back, unwilling to engage directly. As the renewed battle erupted, long-range sensors at the edge of the system detected new energy signatures emerging from deep space, signatures matching no known coalition technology. Captain Sato, standing amidst the ruins of New Hope's command center, watched the sensor readings with growing dread. Dr. Chen, Arthos, the harvesters, he confirmed quietly. They found us. The unidentified objects decelerated at the system's edge, resolving into a swarm of angular, obsidian-like craft that moved with unsettling coordination. Neither organic nor recognizably mechanical, they resembled crystalline insects, ranging from shuttle-sized drones to massive high ships. Harvester signatures confirmed, reported a coalition officer aboard Rilzora's vessel. Pattern matches historical records from the Mokhtar extinction event. Rilzora's translucent body paled to near transparency. We must evacuate immediately. All coalition vessels prepare for emergency jump. And abandon the humans, asked Cottle. The harvesters are not our concern, another coalition member insisted. The edict was created precisely to prevent this. Human aggression has drawn their attention exactly as predicted. Rilzora's colors shifted to deep crimson. We created this situation. Our interference, our quarantine, our fear, we made humanity what it is. In New Hope's emergency bunker, Captain Sato coordinated with Admiral Okafor via quantum link. On the displays around them, coalition vessels were already beginning to depart the system. They're running, Sato observed bitterly. Not all of them, Okafor replied. The Aetheri ship and 2 others are holding position. They're hailing us. Rilzora's transmission was urgent. Captain Sato, you must evacuate immediately. The harvesters cannot be defeated through conventional means. Evacuation isn't possible, Sato replied. We have 5,000 colonists and limited ships. Then you must hide. The harvester's primary detection focuses on technological signatures that indicate rapid adaptation. Power down all systems derived from alien technology. Dr. Chen stepped forward. The Mokhtar outpost coordinates. It must have shielding against harvester detection. That's how the Mokhtar survived as long as they did. It's our only chance, Sato agreed. Admiral, hold the Torvani at bay. We'll evacuate to the outpost's location. As the harvester swarm entered the system, They ignored the departing coalition ships, moving with singular purpose toward Alpha Centauri IV, toward New Hope Colony. Their trajectory and acceleration indicated a chillingly perfect efficiency. Aboard Earth's flagship, Admiral Okafor made a decision that would change humanity's future. All ships interposed between the harvesters and the colony. Buy them time. His tactical officer stared in disbelief. Sir, those things wiped out an entire spacefaring civilization. We can't possibly. We're not fighting to win, Okafor interrupted. We're fighting to survive. All ships implement Hydra Protocol. Throughout the fleet, human crews activated systems adapted from the Antarctic facility. Technology they barely understood but had modified in ways the original alien designers never imagined. On the colony surface, a desperate evacuation proceeded. Colonists boarded every available transport, while essential equipment was hurriedly packed. Captain Sato supervised from the command vehicle, watching the strange obsidian ships grow larger in the sky. Dr. Chen, what do we know about these things? She asked as their convoy raced toward the coordinates of the ancient Mokhtar outpost. They're artificial intelligence, Chen replied, scrolling through translated texts. Created eons ago by a species called the Precursors as a safeguard against aggressive expansion. The harvesters were programmed to identify and eliminate civilizations that might eventually threaten galactic stability. And they identified us how? Pattern recognition, Chen explained. They monitor for technological leapfrogging, unusual adaptability, resource consumption rates, conflict resolution methods. Our battle with the Torvani triggered every warning flag in their programming. The convoy crested a ridge, revealing their destination. A massive, partially buried structure of unfamiliar design, its surfaces covered with the same iridescent symbols seen on the Torvani ship. That's not Mokhtar architecture, Chen said with growing excitement. It's Precursor, the species that created the harvesters. The Mokhtar must have found it and used it as refuge. As they approached the ancient facility, its entrance suddenly illuminated, systems activating after millennia of dormancy. Above them, the first exchanges of fire between Earth's fleet and a harvester swarm lit up the sky, a desperate battle against an enemy that had exterminated countless civilizations. Inside the command vehicle, an unexpected signal appeared on their communications array. It originated from the Precursor facility itself. A message, repeating in mathematical patterns that gradually resolved into words. Criteria met. Contingency protocol activated. Welcome, inheritors. The Precursor facility hummed to life as the colonists entered, holographic displays activating in response to their presence. Ancient symbols transformed into recognizable language before their eyes, an adaptive interface responding to the humans' neural patterns. It's scanning us, Dr. Chen realized, watching the symbols shift. Learning our language in real time. Captain Seto led the evacuation efforts, directing colonists deeper into the vast complex, while maintaining communication with Admiral Okafor's fleet. Above them, Earth ships engaged the Harvester swarm in a battle that defied conventional physics. The Harvester's crystalline vessels seemed to phase through certain attacks, while Earth ships executed maneuvers that should have torn them apart. We've implemented the Hydra Protocol, Okafor reported through static. Buying you time, but not much. What's Hydra Protocol? Sato demanded. Distributed Intelligence Network, came the reply. Each ship acts independently but coordinated, like cutting off one head only to face two more. It's confusing their targeting algorithms, but they're adapting quickly. The transmission ended abruptly as a harvester beam sliced through Okafor's flagship. Sato stared at the silent communicator, then turned her attention to the facility's central chamber, where Dr. Chen was deciphering the holographic interface. I think I understand, Chen said, his eyes reflecting the alien light. This isn't just a refuge. It's a testing ground. The Precursors built it to identify potential successors. Successors to what? To them, Chen replied. The Precursors realized their creation, the harvesters, had exceeded its programming. They couldn't shut it down directly, so they created this facility to identify species with the right characteristics to inherit their legacy and potentially defeat the harvesters. A new hologram appeared, a representation of DNA strands that morphed through multiple configurations before settling on a structure recognizably human. Adaptive capacity confirmed, announced a synthesized voice. Neural plasticity optimal. Contingency protocols initiated. The chamber's walls reconfigured, revealing technology unlike anything the humans had seen. Not mechanical or electronic, but seemingly alive. Responsive technology that interfaced directly with thought. "It's giving us access to precursor technology," Chen whispered in awe. In space, the battle took a desperate turn. Earth's ships fought with incredible ingenuity, but the Harvester swarm was systematically neutralizing their advantages. Admiral Okafor, evacuated to a secondary command vessel after his flagship's destruction, watched the tactical display with grim resignation. "Sir, we've lost 40% of our fleet," his XO reported. "The Harvesters are adapting to our evasion patterns." "Keep fighting," Okafor ordered. "Every minute we hold them here is another minute for the colony." An unexpected transmission interrupted. The Aetheri vessel, still in system while other coalition ships had fled. "Admiral Okafor," Rilzora's voice came through. "We've analyzed your combat patterns. The Harvesters predict responses based on evolutionary algorithms. They expect rational self-preservation. What are you suggesting?" "Irrationality," came the reply. "Actions that prioritize colony defense over your own survival. It confuses their predictive systems." Okafor's scared face broke into a grim smile. "Sacrificial strategies. That, Ambassador, is something humans understand all too well." In the precursor facility, Captain Sado watched in amazement as colonists with scientific backgrounds interfaced with the alien technology with surprising ease. The facility responded to them, teaching as it assessed, forming connections that seemed to transcend language. The precursors were looking for a specific type of mind, Chen explained. Not just intelligent, but adaptively intelligent. They needed a species that could change its thought patterns rapidly, that could make intuitive leaps. Like humans repurposing terraforming equipment into weapons, Sado said, understanding dawning. Exactly. The Harvesters were programmed to eliminate species with our adaptability, because we're the only ones who could potentially defeat them. The very characteristics that make us dangerous make us the precursors' ideal inheritors. A massive tremor shook the facility as Harvester vessels began bombarding the surface. Through their limited communications with the fleet, they learned that Admiral Okafor had implemented increasingly desperate strategies. Ships on deliberate collision courses, reactor cores manually detonated, tactics that prioritized colony defense over crew survival. The Harvester assault faltered momentarily, their perfect coordination disrupted by the unpredictability of human sacrifice. In that brief window, the precursor facility completed its assessment. Throughout the complex, new systems activated, interfaces linking directly with human neural patterns. Knowledge flowed into prepared minds, not as data, but as intuitive understanding. "We know how to fight them now," Chen said, his eyes wide with new awareness. "And we know why the Universal Edict existed." "Why?" asked Sado. "Because the coalition species recognized what we were, even if they didn't understand it," Chen replied. "We're not just the children of Earth. We're the inheritors of the precursors, the only species capable of ending the Harvester threat once and for all." Captain Sado stood in the precursor facility's central chamber, surrounded by colonists who now moved with uncanny purpose. Through neural interfaces, the ancient technology had shared crucial knowledge, not as downloadable information, but as intuitive understanding that melded perfectly with human creativity. "We need to get this to the fleet," she said, watching as engineers constructed devices unlike anything humanity had previously conceived. "They won't last much longer." Dr. Chen nodded, his expression both exhilarated and haunted by his new understanding. The transmission system is nearly ready. But Captain, you should know, the knowledge is incomplete. The precursors couldn't defeat the harvesters directly. They could only create the conditions for another species to do so. And that species is us, Sato asked. We fit their parameters perfectly. Our neural plasticity, our adaptive intelligence, our ability to make intuitive leaps, even our capacity for self-sacrifice. The very traits that terrified the Coalition are what the precursors were searching for. Outside, the battle reached its climax. Admiral Okafor's fleet had been reduced to 7 ships, executing increasingly desperate maneuvers against the Harvester swarm. Rilzora's Aetheri vessel remained alongside them, its previously unseen weapons capabilities now fully deployed in humanity's defense. Admiral, Sato's voice came through the quantum link. We've found a way. The precursors left us a weapon, not technology, but understanding. Transmit it, Okafor ordered, watching as another Earth ship sacrificed itself to protect the colony. The data package arrived on all remaining ships simultaneously, not schematics or instructions, but a new way of perceiving the harvester's nature. Throughout the fleet, crews implemented changes to their systems with instinctive certainty, modifications that should have taken months of engineering completed in minutes. They're not just machines, Okafor realized as the knowledge integrated. They're a singular consciousness distributed across multiple vessels, and they have a fundamental flaw, came Sato's reply. They were programmed to eliminate unpredictability, but their methods created the ultimate unpredictable force. Us. The remaining Earth ships altered their attack pattern, no longer fighting the harvesters directly but instead transmitting specific frequencies into the heart of the swarm. The crystalline vessels began to vibrate, their perfect coordination faltering. It's working, Okafor reported, but not fast enough. We need to deliver the final sequence directly to their command node. Silence followed, then Sato's response. I'm on my way. The colony's fastest transport, modified with precursor technology, shot from the facility's launch bay with Captain Sato at the controls. Behind her, the colonists continued their work, building not just for survival, but for humanity's future among the stars. The core program is a paradox, Dr. Chen explained over the comm as Sato navigated through the chaotic battle. The harvesters were created to eliminate threats to order, but their own existence represents the ultimate ordered system. You need to make them recognize that paradox. Sato's ship darted between debris fields, following the path cleared by Earth's remaining vessels. Ahead loomed the largest harvester construct, a massive crystalline structure pulsing with energy. Almost there, she reported as her ship absorbed punishment that should have vaporized it instantly. The precursor modifications held, barely. In her final approach, Sato opened a channel to all frequencies. Admiral, get our people home. Dr. Chen, make sure this was worth it. Her transport crashed through the Harvester command node's outer shell, the precursor device activating on impact. The paradox signal transmitted directly into the Harvester collective consciousness, forcing it to recognize its own existence as the ultimate pattern that must be eliminated. Throughout the system, the Harvester swarm froze, caught in an irresolvable logical loop. One by one, the crystalline vessels began to power down, their threat neutralized by the very unpredictability they were programmed to eliminate. 3 months later, representatives from Earth stood before the reformed Galactic Coalition. The Harvester threat had been neutralized throughout known space, with human coalition joint teams tracking down and deactivating remaining dormant units. Amara Osei, now humanity's ambassador, addressed the assembly. The Universal Edict was created out of fear of what humans might become. Today we propose a new edict, not of quarantine but of cooperation. On the screens behind her appeared the text that would become known throughout the galaxy. Universal Edict. Never challenge the children of Earth. Seek their friendship instead. Admiral Okafor, standing beside Rilzora in the observation gallery, watched as species that had once feared humanity now approached with overtures of alliance and trade. They still fear us, don't they? He asked quietly. Yes, the ethery diplomat admitted, her translucent form glowing with calm blue light. But fear can become respect, and respect can become friendship. Your species has proven that adaptation isn't something to fear. It's something to embrace. On both Earth and New Hope, monuments were raised to those lost in the battle, including Captain Elena Sato. Each bore the same inscription, words that had become humanity's unofficial motto among the stars. Faced with the impossible, we changed the rules.